happening, mother people? It is your boy Kevin. It is Sunday, doing the live stream thing as usual, and streaming straight from Boston and whatnot. A lot of crazy things have been happening more recently, but I'm pretty good with change more recently as well. If you guys haven't caught my new series, I've been actually almost vlogging almost every single day. It's kind of like vlogging, but basically I've been journaling every single day. If you haven't caught my new series, Freestyle Fire Journal, it's something I came up with one day after speaking to my brand strategist as well. I just wanted a cool series where I could just like kind of spit off the dome, just really talk about like things that are on my mind and stuff, or have a more formatted sequence. And from the results so far, I mean, obviously there's a lot of traction that needs to be made, to be honest with you. But there's a lot of things that need to be done, but I guess it's kind of cool seeing all your comments and stuff. And by the way, if you are just tuning in, make sure to smash the like button. Would appreciate it all. But it's East Coast time. It's 9 p.m. It's getting kind of late here, so I don't know how late I'm going to stream today because I gotta get up early. But we got Kevin Moore in the house. Hey Kevin, I'm headed up tomorrow, so I saw your comment, Kevin Moore. Really appreciate it. I'm actually going through some major things tomorrow, so I won't be able to meet I'm not sure this week or anything like that, but hit me up yourself Kevin, through the private channels. You can slide through my DMs or something like that. I'll keep an outlook for that, my man. But yeah, and really, I'm making a lot of traction. Some cool things while you guys are coming in. Some cool things this week, man. I've actually been making a lot of traction with Kick-Ass Investing, my course and stuff. Threw on a few beta students at the moment to make sure that they're going through the course, and really my digital marketer and stuff, or not my digital marketer. I guess he's a full stack marketer, but he's also my editor too. So he helps me with a lot of the content editing as well, for the bigger topics. Like he does all that. I do all the smaller topics like freestyle fire journal, like that new series I'm doing as well. That's all done by me, but he's handling the bigger episode. So I actually have a Don't Do Pharmacy updated part 2 with all the facts and figures. That should be really good. I told my editor, I was like, dude, I don't care. I want this to be the fucking best pharmacy video. Like I put in a lot of work on my end. I want you to make it pimp it out, make it as good as possible. So we'll see. I'm not guaranteeing it'll be the best pharmacy video, but honestly, it's the best one I could make at this point in time as well. So I hope you guys enjoy that as well. So I think that should be pretty cool stuff as well. Bob keeps on saying I want to do around pharmacy. But Bob, I'm not just a one-dimensional thing. This was never a pharmacy channel. I know you're always commenting on pharmacy shit, man. I feel you, but dude, if you're just following me for pharmacy, like chances are this probably isn't the right channel for you, man. In general, but I talk about whatever I want to talk about on my channel, and that's doing the other things. Like pharmacy doesn't make me happy, but it is important. Like the only thing that keeps me talking about pharmacy is because so many students reach out to me for pharmacy as well. And I'm not only known for pharmacy. People find me in weird sectors, like for example, high ticket closing. You'll see a lot of questions pop up through there and stuff like that, or inbound closing, whatever you want to call it, stuff like that. So I'm not known for just pharmacy, but I want to expand beyond pharmacy too. So my content is not going to be consistently pharmacy as well. Armored Ghost says appreciate the recent Boston video, fun stuff. Yeah, and it was really funny was that actually that video was shot over like a year ago. It was shot in 2019. Before the quarantine stuff. That's why we weren't wearing masks and whatnot, because I didn't want people to freaking panic and stuff. But I've just been editing a lot of my old vlogs too. I have older vlogs that I'm going to be launching. There's a whole inventory of older content that, now that I have a lot more free time, I'm just going to start editing. I even have like some pharmacy school vlogs back in the day, so I think you guys might enjoy that. It's a little ratchet for a lot of people, but brings back a lot of good memories. I have old videos of me on my family cruise to Bermuda too, where I just vlogged the whole trip. So I hope you guys enjoy that too. So there's a lot of fire that's going to come out. I have some older interviews I never released as well. So I think you guys will also appreciate that as well. So there's that. Let's see. Armor Ghost asks, what are your current take on relationships between men and women? Do you foresee anything happening for the 2020? I guess like for me, like, are you talking about relationships in general or like my personal relationships? In terms of my personal relationships, man, I'm actually I hired a therapist, man, pretty recently. So I'm having my first session on Wednesday. We're seeing how that goes. There's just been a lot of stuff that has been. I mean, like I'm not sure if I talked to you guys about it, by the way, but I spoke about like wanting to see a therapist for a while, just because I've gone alternative routes. I've gone to EQ seminars. Those are great. I took a hypnotherapy session as well. That was great, but I want to go try going the traditional route as well, and I think that would be really important, especially like being Asian and stuff. Anyone who's been in an Asian household probably has some sort of PTSD or some communication, like communication type of things, or self-love or whatever, confidence issues. For me, at least, I can speak for myself. I can't speak for all Asians as well. So that's that. But in terms of relationships in general, like people, like my friends and stuff, one of the things I noticed that right now is like Zoom dates are really popular right now, right? Actually, one of my friends is like going on. I caught up with one of my Boston friends. He's actually going on a date right now. Hinge is really big, and he's telling me that he's kind of circled through all the Asian girls on Hinge already. So there's no new people for him, and he hasn't been able to find the right person and stuff like that too. So I don't know. I think as a society too, like we're it's funny when online dating first happened, it was kind of taboo. They're like, oh, you guys met online, but it's so crazy to just see a few years later how everything is kind of like normalized as well. So that's really it's really interesting as well. But I know a lot of my friends who are dating. Some of them in Boston, they're starting to date again now that kind of like they're in phase 3. But in LA, it's kind of pretty much halted for the most part for a lot of my friends too. As well in terms of dating. So that's like kind of the what's happening there as well. We got Seton in the house. Make sure to drop a like if you guys are just tuning in. For 10 people that haven't, unless you guys are driving, I don't want you guys to die. But make sure to drop a like, and let's boost that algorithm, guys. What do you think? Armagos asked a really intelligent question. He says, Kevin Yee, what do you think the ancients did better than us today? I think a lot of things, honestly. In terms of like intellectually, I think the ancients were pretty smart, like the classics and stuff. When we talk about like ancient Roman or ancient like the Stoics of the time, I think there was a lot more innovation in terms of philosophy and stuff going on back in the day, and alternative thought. There's a lot more more discussion and whatnot, and I guess now like we kind of lost that art. Like, so what was the type of discussion, a Socrates seminar or something like that, where people would have like kind of a debate back and forth. And I feel like right now in such a heated climate, we've kind of lost the art of debate. We lost the art of higher thinking as well, thinking for ourselves. And I think that's part and due to like social media and all that, because the algorithms, we just kept on getting fed like these echo chambers too, which I feel like is a really big problem. But I think that's one thing. But on a more personal level, I think the ancients actually did a better job at like fucking sitting back and relaxing. They didn't have these fucking things everywhere either, so they could actually kick back and relax, and there was a more of a work-life balance, if you consider that a real thing as well. But that's what I feel. But I would not want to be in any other time but right now. I'm pretty happy about being in the digital age. Pretty happy about sitting in a room full of AC at the moment. I'm really happy that we can travel around the world, and we have means to just connect with so many people on a more global scale, like especially with YouTube as well. So there's that. So yeah. Sutton says, Armor Ghost staying connected as a tribe. I feel like we're too isolated these days. Absolutely. That's something I just mentioned as well. Armored Ghost says, I read through some threads in Reddit Asian parents. Do you really think it's mainly Asian Americans voicing concerns rather than native Asians? I would say it's mostly Asian Americans, man. That's who it's like. Based off the articles I read there, it's really mostly Asian Americans because I don't know, maybe some native Asians as well, but like I don't feel like the native Asian population would go somewhere like Reddit on that. But I could be wrong. I'm not deeply entrenched in Reddit either. It was a cool Reddit forum that I saw, so I just decided to promote it. I haven't really been on there since, but I might answer a few questions there too. Sentence says lag. Armor Ghost says lag too. Shit, this fucking lag sucks, man. Sorry about that. Party Trouble says hee writing my PEBC Canadian Pharmacist Licensing exams on Tuesday. Can you wish me luck in any random shit you can know that you can think of? I can do the first thing, man. I'm wishing you the best of luck, Party Trouble. Hopefully you're not partying too much and getting yourself into a lot of trouble. I don't think anybody's partying right now due to Corona. But I don't even know where to begin because I've never even taken that exam. So I wish I could say something helpful, but honestly, best of luck to you. I mean, worst case scenario, if you fail, you can always take it again, even though that sucks. But it's not the end of the world. Either way, you're gonna learn something about it, my man. I guess Boston ain't #1 for your internet. Yeah, I guess not. Like, dude, my up speed is like fucking 2 megabytes per second. It fucking sucks so much. Like in LA, like I have at least 10 up, and 10 up isn't really good for streaming either. So it's kind of disappointing. Sorry about that. In regard, anonymous sheep. In regards to pharmacy, did you get your pharmacy license revoked? Fuck no. I don't know. Some fucking troll was like really spreading that as well. I mean, for you guys who don't know, like, dude, pharmacy licenses are public record. You can look it up and see who is active and who is not. So I don't know why people are saying that my pharmacy license got revoked. Like, that's defamation right there as well. So, all right. Armor Ghost says lag, so much stop and go. Maybe turn down the quality helps. Let me see what I can do on my end. Can I go back to standard quality or something? I don't even know, man. Like, I'm looking at my video feed right now, and it's like really far behind as well. So sorry about that. Ancient times discussion, modern times internet forums. Although I would say Armor Ghost, internet forums are really great too. I love internet forums, but people can just, I mean, there's something about like talking in real life that where you're promoting discussion and all that really makes a huge difference for a lot of different things. Like, I don't know, there's an X factor because people become keyboard warriors. They become avoidant of actual conflict or different thoughts as well. Every day, I mean, since I talk to people every single day doing sales and stuff and high ticket sales, I'm always debating people or like challenging people's thoughts, having my thoughts challenged too. That's something that we do all the time in sales, so it's a lost art as well. Alex says we tend to only remember intelligent agents due to the Flynn effect. We have some much more intelligent population as well. That is true. I mean, like, yes, in terms of access to information, I will tell you this, Alex, like, in terms of access to information, back in the day, we had really, like when I talk to kids now, they're super, super smart. They learn things really quick. They have access to information as well. But I feel like a lot of the soft skills are kind of missing in the new generation as well. It hasn't caught up. And I think that's only, like, when I think of soft skills, the only way to really build those skills up are essentially experience, right? You need to have a discussion. You need to be able to talk. You need to communicate. You need to be in situations where you're interacting with different personalities, and not all personalities are great. Sometimes you deal with total dicks and stuff, like, and that's the number one thing I learned about sales, man, because high ticket sales might not be something that is always scalable. You're trading time for money essentially, unless you run your own agency, right? But the one thing that you learn through things like sales and stuff is communication, learning how to communicate back and forth, how to express thoughts and stuff as well. So yeah, Armor Ghost is not seeing lag, by the way. uh yeah, it's so crazy. We're probably a few minutes behind in terms of the stream as well. So yeah. Armor Ghost asks, Kevin, did you ever see Escape from New York? Great film. Has Kurt Russell in it. Never seen The Escape. Let me kind of look it up really quick and add it to my list. I don't really. Here's the thing, guys. I don't really watch a lot of media, to be honest with you. More recently, I've been just. I took the last few days off just because I have some family stuff going on, my man. But basically, what I've been trying to do is read a lot more. I've been working out at the gym and stuff, and also really just taking the time to just fucking breathe and shit. I bought a bunch of really great books from Amazon. I must have spent like $100 on Amazon books on my trip here. And one of the books I bought was like How to Train Like a Wild Elephant or something like that. I might do a book review on it, but it's really great. It talks about exercises to kind of practical mindfulness and all this other sort of stuff too. So haven't seen Escape from New York though, but I will make sure to, well, I don't know how I'm going to watch it because I don't even have Netflix or anything like that either. But I'm taking a look at it right now. If it's going to focus. Yep, here we go. So yeah, I screenshot it so I don't forget about it as well. Anyways, guys, who else is in here? We only got 8 people. I think it's probably due to the freaking stream lag too, man. It probably freaking sucks right now as well. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be streaming as well, but yeah, let's keep it going, guys, as well. Let's see. In terms of and let me know, guys, for yourselves, what are some things that you guys are doing this week? What are some things that you are excited as well? What are some things you're struggling with? What are some things that you're kicking ass with as well? Like, as much as I like to talk about myself sometimes, and like as much as I love the Q&A format, sometimes I wonder what's happening like on the other side of the screen too, like from other people's perspectives as well, like what is happening in their lives and why people follow me. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of why people follow me at this point because I've talked to a lot of my viewers and stuff like that too. And yeah, but there's gonna be a lot of interesting topics coming out on my channel relatively soon. Like, yeah, I know I'm doing the fire videos and stuff, like freestyle fire journal videos, which is actually boosting the rest of my videos right now, even though I'm not getting that many views. Like, I think it's really I'm just trying to get ranked back in the algorithm so it can spread more of my content pretty soon, and I'm going to be doing more focused content and creating more and more series as well. I've been really talking to my marketer and sharing kind of like the brand assets my brand strategists like helped me design too. So it has me really excited. I'm actually reading Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And at first, I think I read this book. I can't remember if I read this book before, but honestly, it's been pretty eye-opening in terms of building a brand that I really fuck with, or like if I have any other businesses in the future, that these are the key components that I need to build a brand and stuff, or to pretty much build so I don't want to freaking commit like creative seppuku, honestly, right? So that's kind of like what I'm going through right now. Lemon Doug says, Kevin, excited for the live stream, mother people, or you didn't say mother people, but Lemon Doug says, excited for the live stream. Enjoy the fireside chat this week. Keep it up. Really appreciate it, Lemon Doug. Yeah, I actually screwed up the uploading time for my for the Freestyle Fire Journal. And no, it's really funny. I actually came up with Freestyle Fire Journal like overnight. Like literally, I was thinking like, dude, I want a journal, and I'm doing all this like self work like on myself. How do I help other people who are kind of going through the same thing where they can express their thoughts, they can journal with me? Not everybody's gonna want a journal, but make something really interactive and something that will also help me, that I'm already doing already. So it really, literally from start to finish, it probably takes me about 10 minutes to edit Freestyle Fire Journal. It's usually like one take. I don't do two takes or anything like that. It's just like really off the dome. I know what I want to say half the time, introduce the series, and then just jump straight into it. And then doing the SEO, I do very minimal SEO or anything like that on it. And it's just really great. I just feel like I'm in flow, and I just get to talk about whatever the fuck I want, like half the time, which is great. You know, some of the times the questions like in that journal, if you go refugeehustle.com/journal, that's the journal I'm using at the moment. Some of the questions are kind of lame. Like they're like, oh man, if you had a time capsule, what would you put in it? I'm just like, dude, I fucking hate time capsules and stuff like that. I think that's so irrelevant in the modern day, but it just helps. But even talking about that, it just helps the creative juices keep flowing as well. And I feel like I'm just making progress by doing a daily habit every single day in terms of my mental state as well. Let's see. Kevin Moore asks, what do you suggest for people with disabilities in terms of work? That's a loaded question, Kevin. Well, I do know your condition as well, but I'm not quite sure because, you know, what's interesting actually this week, like, and this is related to your question, by the way, Kevin, was that I caught up with one of my pharmacy school friends, and we actually haven't spoken since like almost 7 years ago. Believe it or not, last time me and some of my pharmacy friends was almost 7 years ago, and she basically she's a pharmacist, right? She worked for the big chain. She hated the freaking big chains and stuff, and actually quit, worked at a startup pharmacy, and then eventually transitioned to another pharmacy where she's doing business development and part of the sales, and it's kind of a non-traditional role. And me being in kind of like client-facing work as well, I was just giving her a few tips about what I do to prepare for every single meeting that I get. And then she was like really kind of blown away. And one of the questions that she was asking me is like, what do you suggest for me, someone in my position? I'm just like, well, interesting that you say that. What are you trying to do? And it's so interesting because I think one of the things I learned from sales is being able to kind of sit back and listen to people, see where they want to go first. And then you can really position yourself in a right way. So Kevin, to throw it back, and basically we ended up having a 3-hour discussion about everything, her relationship life, all that sort of stuff. And it was really cool because we've always had, me and this girl, we've always had really kick-ass conversations as well. She's just a really cool girl and stuff like that, but it was really good, nice kind of connecting with an old friend like that. And so my question to you, Kevin, is like, where are you headed? What do you want as well, right? Because yeah, I could just be like, yo, Kevin, you could literally freaking you could be waste disposal and pick up people's trash, but not everybody's passionate about that, man. Like not everybody's passionate about that, or it really depends. Like, what are some things that you've been considering? What are some of the things that you want as well? So that's what I'm going to throw back at you for a second. Lemon Doug asks, any advice on starting a YouTube channel? Well, I mean, it depends. Like, if you want to start a YouTube channel and make it success. Okay, so there's two reasons why you should start a YouTube channel. One, if you want to build personal brand. So the channel that you guys are watching right now is not to be it's a personal brand type of channel. It's like a culture type of thing. It's basically my personal channel and talk about the things that I want to. That's why when Bob earlier was mentioning like, why don't you just talk about pharmacy? Well, this was never meant to be a pharmacy channel. And the limitation behind that as well is that, like, it's harder for the algorithm to pick up on. So if you focus on like one or like at least 3 different topics, and you can build an authority with that. That's why I have a separate investing channel as well, which I'm going to be uploading to that very soon as my beta students are done with their as soon as I get results from my beta students, right, and get testimonials out of them. So there's that, and that channel has actually been growing a lot quicker than this one, and for good reason, because people know why they're on here. And really, if you're building a personal brand, that's why I've been reading so many branding books, is like you have to, it's a longer term game, but it's a more authentic game as well. And you just, once you crack the code, you'll start attracting more people as well. So I think I kind of have like the idea of what kind of brand I want, especially talking to my brand strategist as well. but I just need to put everything together in a cohesive story as well. So I think that's the thing, and I gotta create content that kind of almost like TV shows that kind of revolve around that. Now, Lemon, if you are trying to get started on YouTube, I would just say start creating content, see what hits, see what kind of content you like talking about, because chances are when you first start, no one's gonna respond to your content at all. Doing your first channel is hard because like you have to find the motivation within yourself. It has to be somewhat enjoyable. You have to be good at talking and stuff, and you build up FaceTime with the camera. When I first started talking to my camera, it was the most awkward feeling in the world. Like it was really, really tough for me, and I had to put a lot of reps. If you like the other day, I was talking to my friend. He actually created Joe Jitsukawa's documentary. I was just shooting shit with him, and he was saying like, "Wow, you have 800 plus videos." I was like, "Yeah, man. I've been in front of the camera a lot of times. I've invested a lot of hours into this." And the reason why I don't think grew the way that I wanted to is because I never really set a strong intention to grow it. And I was never diligent. I didn't have the essential assets, but now I know, now that I understand the marketing point of view, I understand, obviously I understand the content point of view as well, because I've been just creating all sorts of types of content. Never did skits. I always wanted to do skits, but besides the point, the next thing I need to figure out is the brand and the value and the type of people I want to attract. Because the truth is, I mean, I don't really want to attract those people who are just like one-offs too much, right? Like it's kind of like you feel like a content prostitute, man, where they just come to you for one thing, which is cool, you know, like there's channels for that. That's why I'm saying if you have an expert subject matter in a particular thing, it's great. But like for me, when I think about people like Seth Godin, they're known for their being Seth Godin, right? Yes, he's known for marketing and stuff like that, but he's not known for like I don't never want to feel pigeonholed in just pharmacy. There's just so much more, and pharmacy is kind of like my old life. Why would I talk about something that's not super major in my life that, you know, that I'm not really passionate about as well? So yeah. Lemon Doug's would say also a day in the life of Kevin Yee would be interesting to watch. Yeah, my friend actually wanted to shoot like a day in the life of Kevin Yee, especially pre-quarantine, but now quarantine is over. It's kind of like, or quarantine, like especially in California, everything's back in quarantine. Like it's kind of boring, man. I mean, my day really just starts off like going to the gym or going for a walk or reading. Sometimes I wake up late, I'll be real. And then I take sales calls for most of the day. Work on some content, talk to my editor and stuff like that, or have any other personal meetings, eat, and that's pretty much my day for the most part, man. And it's pretty much on clockwork at the moment, and obviously at the moment talking to my mom because I'm helping her at this moment. So that's what's happening from my end as well. Let's see what else. Kevin says, medical field, I love what you used to do, learning how people can be helped via medicine. I mean, honestly, I probably would not recommend something like pharmacy. If you want more patient-facing work, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are happy doing PA, but the most important thing is like start writing down a list of potential careers that you want, and then start actually talking to those people in those careers. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to be reaching out to optometrists, two optometrist friends. I'm going to get them to come on. I'm looking for a nurse right now to kind of talk to more about like in the traditional RN role and stuff like that, and just talk about like friends as well, and just have a great conversation with them, talk a little bit about what they do, what some of their aspirations are. I have a lot of people who I know who are kind of stuck in their career and just they want to move on. And I would love to kind of do a series to help people just figure out what the fuck they want to do. Because like a simple like YouTube comment, I can't help people like in that short amount of time to look for like sometimes that's why sometimes the YouTube comments, the problem is that people are looking for such a major answer in such a bad format, right? Even if I could respond, I mean, typically when I had that simple conversation to answer that simple question of what should I do, I need, like with my friend that I mentioned earlier, what I had to do was understand her situation first, put myself in her shoes, like kind of get the idea of where she's going, some of the challenges, the gaps that she has, then I can make a recommendation. But until I do that, I can never really answer a particular question, because what happens if I give a recommendation, that person already did it? Or what happens if I tell someone to read a book and they're freaking blind, right? They have to get an audio book, right? Like, there's so many different factors as well. But that's what I would probably tell you to do. Look at different career fields like RN, even being a physician or anything like that. There's a lot of different things that you can do in the medical field as well. MTTH says, hey Kevin, is hospital pharmacy as saturated as retail pharmacy? Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, based off of what my friends have been. And by the way, before I answer this question, make sure smash that like button as well. Make sure to boost the algorithm in this video. Might as well. I'm going to pitch it throughout this whole video as well. But in terms of hospital pharmacy, I'm sorry, I switched your comment by accident. In terms of hospital pharmacy, it's probably a lot more saturated than retail. It's more competitive because people don't want to do retail. They hate community. Like there's people that really love community. There are people that do like it, but for the most part, I mean, if you gave majority of pharmacists the option between like, hey, do you want to do hospital pharmacy or do you want to do community pharmacy? Most people would say community. And if you are a pharmacist, I would love to type in the comments below whether you think, where would you rather practice, hospital or community as well? Write in the comments. And it obviously depends which setting, but most people would not probably choose community if they had a choice, to be honest with you. So there's that. Armor Ghost says, do you think the U.S. is super divided to a point where the Civil War II isn't out of the question? I don't know. I like, in terms of division, I sometimes wonder if it's just the media, kind of like what we're exposed to the media, or if it's actually, or is it actually like, is it truly as divided as we think it is as well? That's one thing I'm always kind of wondering. But I believe like if we don't start talking to each other, I mean, nothing's out of the question. Look at what happened with that chat. Like the chat, was it Chad, or I can't remember. It was like out in like Seattle or something like that. The something zone or whatever. They separated, and it's like, dude, those are that's a good example of kind of like where our country is at the moment. I don't think everybody feels that way. I'm not sure if it's the small. I think like honestly not what is rational, but like what was once considered as majority, like the majority thought, is actually it's not as common anymore. It's like I never thought I would see the day where being almost like a centrist, right? Like having a very neutral point of view, or at least being neutral to hearing other people's opinions, what is so demonized these days as well. And this is the whole thing why I kind of like dislike cancel culture, because it prevents us really talking out issues and just really having a solid discussion, hearing what arguments suck and what arguments could be potentially valid too. I think that's really important to be able to hear both sides as well. So there's that. Let's see. Lemon Doug says, can you use the equipment that you use for sales calls? Oh, the physical equipment? I use literally this podcast mic so people get podcast quality. They're like, dude, your sound quality is really fucking good. I'm just like, yeah, because it's like a freaking $1,000 setup, or not 1,000, but it's pretty fucking expensive setup as well. So I could potentially do that as well. Start YouTube channel. And I'm kind of curious, Lemon Doug, what kind of YouTube channel are you thinking about starting? Leave a comment for me, man. YouTube or sale call setup. I know some people, they really like the headsets, but I hate the way that it sounds, because it sounds very nasally. It's like, hey, it sounds like you're talking to a sleazy fucking salesperson, man. I don't like that feeling. And I just like chopping it up, having conversations, real conversations about people's goals and understanding why they want to do certain things. Making sure that I know what they're trying to do as well. AZ asks, do you listen to the Fighter and the Kid podcast with Brian Kalin and Brendan Schwab? Yeah, I do listen to them a lot. Twitter mob coming after Kalen since a few days ago. Well, last time I heard, Brian actually had Corona. They were doing the Zoom as well, and then they were reacting to Joe Rogan's people canceling Joe Rogan because of his like fucking comment about gaming, which I understand where Joe Rogan is, but man, I don't understand the outrage. Like, I get what Joe Rogan's trying to say, and like it's like, so what? Like, I don't understand the situation completely as well, so maybe I shouldn't really speak too much about it at this moment. But in my opinion, based off of what I've seen so far, it's like, man, well, that's what Joe Rogan thinks, right? And we can all disagree with Joe Rogan. I mean, personally, I think you can really make a living off of gaming and stuff. We've seen it time and time again. It's really fucking hard. But I think who he's talking to is the majority amount of people who kind of aren't in that level of becoming world class, or people who are who are so addicted to gaming where they add no value to the community as well. I think that's what Joe Rogan's trying to get to, and that wasn't the best way to articulate it, but I don't know why they're being called out right now as well. Would you be able to be to share a sales call? I'm not sure. I definitely can't share a sales call because I have non-competes and stuff as well. But what I would be open to doing is kind of breaking down a typical sales script that I usually go through as well. I'm more than happy to do that. But like sharing recordings and stuff, that's a little touchy because you're sharing basically company asset or client assets as well. So I can't share the calls, but I can just share the typical process I go through. I think you guys will be very surprised about how non-salesy it is, because that's the number one thing that I usually get. Like they find it so helpful. They're like, "Thank you, Kevin, for having this call and all that as well." So it's interesting. Armor Ghost says, "Is stretching useful?" Absolutely, man. I'm like really, I used to be really big into stretching, but somewhere along the way I stopped. And it's really bad. I'm trying to get back into it and get more back into yoga and mobility, but especially with COVID right now, it's just been really tough to find a studio. So I've just been doing it at home, but it's not the same effect, man. Seattle, Chaz. There we go, Chaz. I remember, and then they renamed it to another, as well. Where's a good place to get stock videos? Do you believe it's best to create original B-roll? Stock videos, there's a lot of different websites that provide stock videos. Personally, I like creating my own B-roll. I mean, I used to talk to Tommy, who used to work for JK. He used to say, creating your B-roll is always better. I agree. Like if you're doing it, but sometimes you don't always have those assets, and you might need to look them up. So using something like, I use jumpstory.com. That's the one I use, but I only use them because I found a deal for them, and it's like pay one time $97, and I have them for life. So I barely use it at all, to be honest with you. I use it for maybe some stock or some I use it for some like thumbnails, but that's pretty much it as well. Armor Ghost says, "Is Comcast trash or is it just okay?" I've never used Comcast. I'm pretty sure my internet right now is pretty trash at the moment, but yeah. Lemon Doug says, "Not sure about the YouTube channel yet. Probably personal brand. Still working on personal development and finding my values, so might document that journey." I think it's always important too. You gotta start somewhere, and plus, like what I was mentioning on my journal today, like I didn't post it up today, but the other day I was talking about how important it is to document your journey, because you can only capture like a specific experience once, right? Meaning like, you can't go back 10 years ago and like 10 years later and talk about you as a 26-year-old. It just doesn't work like that, right? You can only talk about being a 26-year-old as you're in that state. And that's a great thing about video, because it captures a moment in time. So at this moment in time, I'm talking to you as a 32-year-old male in quarantine in Massachusetts at the moment, right? That's what I do, right? That's what my current state is at the moment. So yeah. Do you think sales is more of a numbers game or about certain skills you have? I think it's about both, honestly. I mean, there's diminishing returns, and I hate when people just say it's volume, but sometimes it is volume because you need to get your reps in to get good, Armor Ghost, right? But also, like, it takes a certain amount of skills. Like, it takes soft skills. You need to be able to navigate objections. You need to navigate people's concerns. You need to navigate. You need to be able to create an environment where people feel comfortable, take you as an authority, and learn to trust you as well. And I've just learned a lot this year. Like, first year was like I got kind of good. I can make money just being okay. But really this year I think really my skills have expanded a lot more in terms of sales and communication. I use it all the time. I mean, when I do interviewing processes as well, like when I was interviewing each of my beta students for Kick-Ass Investing, because I really want to understand where they're coming from so I can create future marketing documents so I understand what people are looking for and also make my program a lot better in the future in terms of what I'm trying to do with that, right? So it has so many applicable skills as well, and especially when I do any sort of project in the future, if I need to close people or anything like that, I have that down because I've spent so many years kind of honing that skill. And that's the thing that I really want to represent on my channel. It's like not about learning high ticket sales or being in pharmacy. It's really this aspect of Kaizen, like this aspect of focusing on mastery to like help your refugee hustle, to help you get to your goals, your ideal lifestyle, build. I mean, Ramit Sethi always says this, but build your rich life, right? And it's done through mastery of skills. So that's why, like, you don't see me pretty much talking about selling a high ticket course or teaching a high ticket program at this or teaching high ticket sales, even though I think I would do pretty well at teaching people. And maybe in the future I will, but at this point in my life, I just really want to focus on refinement and getting better and better and better before I even teach a freaking single thing. That's why it took me so long to kind of launch my investing course. And now that I'm doing a reboot on it, I'm really excited for that. And so I want that to be a really great program because to me, it's a lot more than just the dollar amount, the revenue. Revenue is great, but to really be able to really create a memorable experience for everyone that enrolls, which is so rare these days in info products. Like, it's like you take this program and it's like done, kick you on your ass, you're out, right? That's pretty much what a lot of programs are these days. But how many of them create a memorable experience? And that's the number one thing I will always remember about Dan Locks. As much press as he's gotten, he's getting sued right now because of his Vancouver home at the moment. But he created a very memorable experience in his program where I met so many people. It wasn't actually him, but it was like I got to meet some of my best friends through that program, and I'll always remember that. And that was a memorable experience I eventually want to create. Maybe not with Kick-Ass Investing because that's kind of a lower tier type of thing, but maybe in the future I want to create a very memorable experience like that. I'm not quite sure, right? As well. So there's that. Let's see. Lemon Doug says, yeah, the sales script would be interesting. Can you censor client details? Love to see the objection handling and things like that. So I guess, I mean, I could technically do that, but I think that's still breaking my non-disclosure as well. But in terms of like objection handling, I'm still trying to get really good at that. I'm not always the best at objection handling. What my specialty is really is something called, I guess, setting, right? I'm really good at understanding people's problems. And then from there, like once you build so much trust up front, it's like whatever you throw at them, like it's really weird. Like, so, and I'm transitioning back into like the closing aspect too at the moment. But for the first year or two, I was really focused on setting, like really understanding clients' needs and all that. And then, for a few offers, I was doing the whole A to Z process as well. But when you get so good at understanding people, like people just begin having this natural trust toward you because you can speak toward their pain points. You've listened to them, and you're basically close. Like if you do your set really well, or if you do your sales really well, you're closing doors as you go down, right? So you're making sure that these people aren't wasting your time, or not wasting your time, but that they are a truly good fit for an investment or something like that, or whatever they're doing, right? Whatever you're selling, that it fits a true need. Because honestly, if there's no need, they're going to be disappointed. They're going to refund anyways. It's happened, right? So there's that. But yeah, I would love, maybe I'll do a breakdown of a sales script. What do Asian parents really hope for their kids to accomplish? I really think it's really shitty communication skills on making sure that their kids are okay, that they're well taken care of in the future. I think that's what Asian parents are really hoping to accomplish for their kids. But but they just do a horrible job at communicating something like that as well. Armored says, I mean at Kevo. What sectors do you look at in during your investing? Well, it depends. I mean, so obviously I have a strong foundation in like things like index funds, S&P 500, stuff like that. But after you get a good foundation, when I want to do sector funds and stuff like that, I will do like things like healthcare. Healthcare is always booming. There's like Internet of Things as well, and AI. There's a lot of those things as well. Telecom as well. Those are really great fields. But really, healthcare, I believe, is always going to be booming for the most part. As far as if you're talking about day trading, by the way, what I do is just I look for volatility. So I just go somewhere like TradingView or something like that, or even E-Trade or something like has pre-market data and stuff to check the top movers, top gainers as well. And then basically with day trading, I just try to hold on to a position for like honestly not that long, maybe like an hour or two, and just trade like that. So it really depends on your strategy, what you're trying to do. And that's why understanding context is important too, because like for long-term investing, I'm trying to set it and forget it. So I try not to I'm not looking for as many individual stocks because that requires more micromanagement, right? But in day trading, it's the complete opposite, where I have to look at these individual stocks, but I'm keeping them only for like maybe like 10 minutes or whenever the position opens up as well. Lemon Dog asks, is it better to have one client for high ticket sales or multiple? Pros and cons. I would say it's better. I mean, this is a debate. Like some people will say you should be on multiple accounts, but I will tell you this: any more than two would probably be overstretching yourself. Personally, I like to focus on one. When you focus on a project, one of the things that I learned is just like you gotta really commit to it. Make sure that you get really, really good at it, and that's how you become a top performer. And then you can add another offer on top of that. And the people who do manage multiple offers, they have to break it up. You can't do it back to back. So you can't do like 10 o'clock, I got a call, then 11 o'clock, I have another call for another client. It's usually like, okay, first half of the day, I'm dedicating to fulfilling for this one client. Second half of the day, I'm focused on fulfilling for this other client as well. So I think that's the way to go for. Somebody's asking, Armor Ghost asks, Tabasco versus Sriracha. Well, honestly, Sriracha I stopped eating because it has like preservatives in it. So I gotta go with the Tabasco, honestly. But I like the taste of Sriracha, don't get me wrong. There's alternatives for Sriracha too. There's like organic ones and stuff. So I like the taste of Sriracha a lot more though, to be honest with you. So yeah. Is Szechuan the one that really likes spicy food? Yes, you're right, Armor Ghost. Do you believe in the 10K rule? What is the 10K rule? I don't even know what the 10K rule is. Like the 10,000 rule, 10,000 hour rule, you mean? Like 10,000 hour rule to be good at something? I believe actually if you're talking about that, I would say that you probably don't need 10,000 hours to be super, super good at something. I think good is just like, I don't know. There was someone that I forget which person said this, but they're saying that you don't need 10,000 hours to be good, or you have to be a master at like 10,000 hours. But to be good at something, you don't need 10,000 hours. You could like literally you can be good with 1,000 or just a few hundred hours as well, from what one person said, but I can't remember as well. Can you tell us more about setting? So set close. So what I specialize in is the set close model. So for example, like for my digital marketing client, when we used to do a set close for them, basically what we're doing is on the first call is understanding your position, understanding the context of what they're trying to do, where they're trying to go, their objections, their current state and future state analysis, right? Including their finances as well, right? If they're for example doing marketing, we have to understand how much are they currently investing into marketing, what have they tried so far, what's worked, what are their goals, where do they want to be Q1, Q2, Q4, 3, 6, 12 months goals as well, right? Which one is the most important goal? Also, some of the challenges that they've been facing, what they believe the current gaps are, and then financial positioning as well and stuff like that. And then really solidifying those milestones. So from a high level, that's what I cover in a set. Now in the close, typically during that time, we're creating like a proposal almost, right? Creating a roadmap of what we're going to be fulfilling, what matters, because the worst thing that we want is like to sell something that doesn't really apply or doesn't solve a problem, because at the end of the day, in order to sell something, there has to be a specific problem that we're focusing on. There has to be a specific priority that we're like, we know their goals, the goals, and with the biggest priority as well, right? So basically, we create a roadmap and really break it down, make sure that everything makes sense. It's almost setting expectations about like working together as well, seeing if they have any questions, and then really coming to an agreement at that as well. Typically, with a close as well, we don't negotiate at all. Like, it's not a negotiation type of thing. It's kind of like, this is what we do, and either take it or leave it, usually, right? So it's a 2 point. It can be anywhere from 2 to 3 points of contact in terms of a close as well. So that's kind of what it is. But yes, it's a lot of rapport building. It's a lot of understanding what the client needs are as well. So that's, or the customer needs as well. I appreciate your input about that, Kevin. I really appreciate your input. I hope you understand why I'm asking. You did what I love to do. I used to love doing what I used to do too, man. I still love aspects about what I used to do too, where every day you're just so blessed to get those dream patients that you can care for, that really value you, that really stand up for you too, and that drop you off Christmas goodies too, man. I miss that. And I still think about my patients every single day, guys. I really do. Like, I'm not just saying that. I really do. Like, because I have their letters, their gifts and stuff that they sent me over the years, and it just warms up my heart, man, knowing that I was such a big part of their life and that they trusted me as well. So, but I'll also say, like, pharmacy might not be the best for that anymore these days, man. Apple split 1 to 4 August 31st. Yeah, I read that, man. People are super, super happy about that. Rohan Reddy says, have you watched the August 2020 QLA videos? No, I have not watched the most recent August 2020 QLA videos as well. But I get invited to, since I am a QLA alumni, I guess, right? I get invited to webinars and stuff, but QLA is not my primary focus anymore. I mean, it was really helpful for understanding business. From a high level, like, it actually helped my stock knowledge, closing bigger deals, being able to talk to more experienced people, because I kind of understand the roadmap of why business, like mergers and acquisitions and all that. It's not an easy concept to understand as well, right? And so, like, a lot of people don't understand what seller's finance is, or they don't understand commercial debt services or anything like that. It was through QLA where I really took the time to learn it. It was a very memorable experience in terms of that. Now, do I think it's like the best thing to invest in for most people? No, I wouldn't say so. But if you really want to go to Castle, you want a memorable experience, damn straight it's a fucking memorable experience, because there was one fucking crazy guy at our place too, man. Ridiculous. Anyways, are you investing in genome sequencing, editing type of stocks? Not really. I mean, I focus on like either really like, so think about it like this. There's only so many things I can focus on in the day. So for me, I focus on a lot of long-term investing. That's one aspect. Then I focus on a lot of day trading, more like small cap and stuff like that, and day trade off volatility as well. So shorting, long and short. I'm a long, like, I like going long because it's a lot less complicated. I'm a very simple type of person, and just seeing the trends and chart reading and stuff. drawing support lines, like resistant lines. It's really fun, guys. And maybe in the future I'll talk about like day trading too, but I'm still learning. So I don't want, it's not like I don't want to share, but I also know like when it comes to certain, because like when it comes to traditional investing, I know what I'm talking about, right? But day trading, I'm still, even though I've had more positive days so far, just paper trading, I'm transitioning over to real money too. So let's like I'm trying to I'm trying to get better at that too, so I can share more of that experience as well. Um, Rohan says, hey, Mr. Kevin, I'm starting a social media consulting business. Any advice? Man, so that's a loaded question. What do you need? What are you trying to do, Rohan? That's my first question to you, my man. Dr. Lee, I see you everywhere in the YouTube pharmacy community. Yeah, Dr. Lee's pretty popular. Dr. Lee, I also haven't forgotten about your question that you sent me via email. I just haven't had a chance, man. And maybe we can spend some time just talking to offline too. At Dr. Lee, thoughts on dating apps? Elbow cough, elbow cough, elbow cough. That's funny. Best place to find offers for closing sales. Is it possible to do a part-time to dip your feet? No. Yeah, this is something that you have to dedicate really to. I mean, it's hard to do part-time or anything like that. I mean, like, I didn't start getting good until I started really going full-time into it. It's just like anything, you gotta commit to it. Same with like something like jiu-jitsu. I was okay like just practicing once a week, but I didn't really start getting better until I started practicing almost every single day. And that's where I started seeing results. So I think it's better to jump in both feet in. And maybe not always with a small client, maybe at a traditional sales job or something like that. There's a lot of like normal sales jobs that people can take as well, inbound closing gigs as well. I got any plans for a 7-day fast? I need a fucking 7-day fast, but no, I have no plans in the near future. Or even 30. I read this guy fasted for like 365 days, but he was extremely overweight. Probably would not recommend it. 10K hour rule. Tell me more via IG at help me Dr. Lee. Armor Ghost, I failed at it. I currently partner with a fellow classmate from farm school, lol. Which ones do you prefer? B2B or B2C? So there's even like another class, right? So there's B2C where you're talking to like regular everyday customers, which is okay. I mean, it's not my favorite. It's very like emotional type of sales and stuff, which is, it's all right. But you're typically you can talk to really broke people a lot of time. It's not very, I don't want to say sophisticated, but it's like we're not solving like true business problems. That's why I like B2B. Like there's enterprise B2B, by the way. And then there's a small like B2C, B2B type of things like, oh, that startup company who's looking for Facebook ads and stuff. I've never done enterprise, by the way, but my really good friend tells me about enterprise, and he was like, dude, it's just so much easier because you're dealing with one specific problem. You know, they have money, they have a certain budget. And so it really comes down to, can I solve like what problem are we solving, right? Which is a lot better. So I prefer to talk because like when you're doing B2C, like, dude, I talk to sometimes really, I hate to say it, there's a lot of not too many smart people in the US, man. It's crazy. I talk to everyone like in every single part of the country I've talked to. Like I've spoken to people from Alaska. I've spoken to people from Texas. I've spoken to people from, you name it, I've probably talked to them as well. And I've probably sold them from every single country, by the way. But B2C, it's like, it's kind of more of a numbers game because not everybody's going to have money, and you got to make sure that people are in a financial position. It's really crazy. People want to start businesses with no working capital. Blows my fucking mind sometimes, man. But I prefer more B2B sales. Hey Kevin, what's going on, Arteris? Can you tell me about the crazy guy at the castle? Holy shit. So there's a crazy fucking guy at the castle, and he was psycho. He went, I don't want to reveal his name because I think I signed something at the Kill Lake Castle and whatnot. But basically, there was this freaking crazy guy. He gave himself an alternative name. I think he was going by the name of, like, I don't know his real name, but he was going by the name of fucking Napoleon or some shit. And dude, this guy would howl, like talk to statues at the nighttime. Outside Dan's castle, there's certain statues. He would be talking to them. We weren't even sure if he's drunk or not. And then he would barge into certain people's rooms and shit, which was pretty fucking creepy. Dan basically had to step him outside and talk to him. But this guy was fucking crazy. He had those crazy eyes too. You know those crazy eyes. What you know those crazy eyes when they're just like he'd be like this all the time, like, and stuff like that. And he'd be fucking crazy. He would ask irrelevant questions. I remember one day at QLA, he was like, guys, all of us. He's like trying to be like Dan Pena. All of us are going to the bathroom. We're going to pull our pants down and we're going to pee together or some shit like that. It was really ridiculous, man. That was a crazy guy at the castle, by the way. I shot a vlog at the castle too, so I might release that one day. Do you have a Warren Buffett style of investing? I would say so. More of a long-term approach as well. I really like index funds. I think that's a really great way to start off. But in terms of quicker wins, I think there's better ways, but it really depends. I mean, I think combining short and long-term strategies is a really smart way of doing things as well. Also, I think what I want to do is invest in businesses in the future, being able to invest in already set up assets. I mean, it's one thing to build an asset up from the ground. It takes a really long time, costs a lot less money, but time is more valuable in that case, right? So I would love to be able to invest in more businesses as well. Do you live alone? Yes, in LA I do live alone at the moment. So I don't have any roommates at the moment, but yeah. Yeah. So, Taste and Travel says flu shots came. Well, this year might be easier to sell flu shots since I guarantee you there's going to be people that think the flu shot will protect against corona or something. I bet you people will believe that, and your guys are gonna be sold out this year. So this year is gonna be really good for immunizations. Curiously, not from Bill Gates. No, I haven't gave one yet. Lol, laughed my ass off. What the fuck? Yeah, it is really crazy shit that happened at the castle, guys. I'm telling you, the castle was one of the most memorable experiences in the world. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to talk to anyone that went to the castle, but I met some really great people there, some really smart ass people, who I'll never forget, man. I was not the poorest motherfucker in the room, but there's some people that really kind of gave it 100%, as well. And for me at the time, QLA just didn't make sense to me. It not make sense, but just really didn't fit what I wanted to do, because the more I thought about it, right? Of course it's hard. It requires a lot of commitment, and it's not something that I could probably do while doing closing, honestly, right? It's such a huge jump, right, to do that. And I was like, I gotta position myself where I have a better cash flow for myself, right? Because one thing is yeah, you're it holds you accountable. More risk holds you accountable. I get that feeling, but also at the same time, it's also being in a financial position to do something to afford something like QLA as well. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure maybe in the future I'll do some sort of M&A and something like that, but definitely not now at the moment as well. So let's see. Does Dan Pena hook up with the chicks in the program? There's the one girl, she was actually Asian too. There's a few Asian girls actually when I went during QLA. So that was really cool as well. And a lot of people say Dan Pena's a fraud and shit or a scam. I don't know why people are saying he's a scam. He really does know his shit. I don't know. I haven't looked into whether he truly owns the castle. From what I read, it does, but he really does know his shit, and people use him as a chairman a lot as well. So he's done some major big deals, and sometimes just the way people talk gives you a good idea of how much they know. Now, could he be faking it? Perhaps, maybe. I wasn't there seeing him grow up, but I trust him enough where he brings up some really major points when it comes to M&A, more than, and plus there was Harvard business people in the at QLA too that were yeah, this is all legit, by the way. So I was like, they're fucking smarter than me, so yeah, I'll put my trust in them rather than my own judgment in that case, right? Obviously you always got to do your due diligence, but made me feel a lot better knowing that there was a lot more successful people than me over there as well. Congrats on your 11.5K. Thank you, Tim Kirk. Really appreciate it, my man. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure smash that like button. I gotta mention it again, obviously, right? But I can't believe I'm at 11.5. I mean, it's been, honestly, the growth of this YouTube channel has been pretty slow, but I think once I create like a good series on this channel, because I've really been brainstorming with my content, my editor, because he sees all my videos and stuff. He knows my flow. He has a good aspect or handle on the on what's happening in the community. So he has a lot of great ideas, but it's really finding that one idea that will really propel me to the next thing. It's kind of like when JK News blew up. They found something that really resonated with them. They love having conversations together, right? That's one. It wasn't overly, it didn't have it was already organic already, and people like that sort of content, so that's why they blew up. And so I need to find a similar type of content as well. And sometimes it takes time to figure that shit out. Do you know which B-roll company that Dan Lok uses? I have no freaking clue, but I know that they use like Fiverr. I don't know. Maybe they use Fiverr. I have no fucking clue. I don't really watch Dan Lok anymore, to be honest with you. It's been a long time. My friend at a 3-letter goal is crazy. Let's see. How did you do that? Live alone? Is it possible to live alone with a part-time job? I mean, living alone is not that. I don't think living alone is that hard. But you know, it's also being able to position yourself in a financial thing, because like I found a really good place that wasn't really super high in rent. So that's the first thing. If you want to live alone, and you're trying to start a business, and especially if you're trying to start a business, you definitely want to reduce your liabilities as much as possible, right? Because things can really go south with a business really quick. I mean, look at Dan Lok's like penthouse, man. Or not, was it the penthouse? I don't know. But basically, Dan Lok couldn't pay. He actually terminated his lease, and then he got sued by the landlord or some there's something on the Vancouver Sun about Dan Lok. You guys can look it up as well. But, you know, that's something that is I mean, you always want to reduce your liabilities, so try finding a place that is a lot cheaper in liabilities as well. Raymond Tang asks, do you think people want to gain muscle or lose fat right now? I think most people, like the general population, I think most of them are more interested in losing fat rather than gaining muscle for the most part, unless you're really, really skinny or something like that. But I think most people would probably want to lose fat. Me being, yeah, and that's the general trend I see. But especially like with this quarantine weight, people probably want to lose the fat and then gain muscle from there. Hagao says, haven't, shit, I lost my content, my thought. Haven't given one yet, and I doubt there'll be very many in August. It's coming. Guys, it's gonna come, dude. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to get a huge wave of patients coming at your door as well. Oh man, okay, cool. I feel like he made such a bunch of money off selling drugs and then moved to selling these courses as well. So funny. Dan Lok is apparently insolvent now, late on his house rent. Yeah. I like, honestly, the course game, the way that he, like, I think if you look back, the way that he marketed his course was an exact way not to do it. He actually had a great product. It was a really good product, guys. I'm telling you, it was a really good product, but he just did not add to the fulfillment of the product as well. Like, the initial community was so great. I met lawyers. I met a lot of smart people actually through the program. You'd be surprised, you know, like there was a lot of smart people, but as the program went on, the fulfillment wasn't necessarily there. People needed some sort of work. He couldn't provide that work. He was trying to fill the gap of it, but it wasn't a truly good, the reason why it wasn't a true high ticket program, because there's no like true sense of touch points, right? You don't really get to talk to Dan Lok. It was a scalable, it was a great course, but man, he just invested into ads and didn't think about like when he did the upsells and created additional programs. That's why I never did too many videos about the programs, because I couldn't really stand by it as well, like the additional programs, because honestly they're underfulfilled. They lacked value for a lot of them, and you know, I didn't think it was worth it. You know, in my opinion, right? That's just my opinion as well. But he should have really focused on fulfillment. I think that would have made the world a difference as well. Lemon Doug says, "How do you find your editor?" I found my editor through. I'm part of a marketing program called. My friend launched this business. If you go down to bottom, if you go to richandniche.com/Kevin, I actually promoted a digital marketing course that my friend has, and it's really great. It teaches you how to be a full stack marketer and build a career in marketing. And there's a lot of people there, and basically what he teaches all these skills. And then I basically met this guy through that community, and he was looking for more gigs, and I was like, hey, you work with my friend, like let's talk, let's see if we can do something. What are some of your goals? And I kind of did like a set close call on him, I guess. And then we decided, like, I want to understand what he wanted, and I was like, I think we can make that work, and this is what I need at the moment, so let's work from there and expand from there. So I've been paying him ever since, and ever since that I've been feeling really great. I get to feed a family in the Philippines or help contribute to that. I really want to be his main. I want to basically buy him and make him my main client, man, as well, or my main editor as well. But he's very talented. He specializes in the audio. He's very detailed, so he kind of fills that gap in for me. He's really great. I really highly recommend him as well. I like the stock market, but I have to admit, I wake up a lot earlier worrying about my stocks and have a little bit more anxiety as a result of it. Of course. That's why I kind of like day trading too, because it's like, okay, you wake up, you load up your tickers, you see what's, you draw your lines, and then you just watch the market and then set your orders, and then you're done. You're pretty much done. I mean, a trade can take like a few minutes sometimes to execute, you know, and you're done. But by the end of the day, you always sell your position as well. So there's that. I really enjoy that. How do you feel about him renting his place? Do you think this makes Ryan Serhant look bad since he toured it? Not quite sure. I mean, rent makes sense because I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Like, I have no opinion about him renting his home and stuff. I mean, it might make sense from a business point of view, but I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, right? That's so crazy. If Dan Locke was so rich, then how is he losing his home in Vancouver then? Well, there's a few theories. Like, one of the theories I think is his high ticket closer like program probably isn't doing as well as the first 1 or 2 years. And there's something that you guys should know about info courses. There's a life cycle to these info courses, especially like something like BizOp, like what he's teaching. Typically the cycle might last for 1-2 years. It might be really hot, and then he over leveraged himself, or his liabilities got way too high, so he probably couldn't afford it, because the sales are not going to be as crazy as they were the first year, right? Because this is his first info course. I don't think he said that he's launched other info courses in the past, right? So he probably didn't know, and he probably he renewed his lease not thinking that the gravy train wasn't going to be forever, okay? So there's probably that, but we also don't know Dan Locke's. I'll give Dan benefit of doubt too. We just don't know his position or what he's going through as well. So it could be a multiple of reasons as well. Spend all your monies on sugar babies and red suits, says AZ. What do you mean by he tried to fill in the gap? Not quite sure. Probably because I talked about it not too long ago. So yeah. Tyrell says, my potential client makes $5,000 a week in business, 2.5 years. Digital marketing company, 12 employees, 50 clients. We're not clear on price. We will accept whatever the prospect has. Should I take the job? Says Tyrell. 20% commission. 20% commission. Well, Tyrell, there's a lot of different things, right? Potential client is always like good in theory, right? because nothing is. Let me load up your original question because that's the most detail. Now, in terms of taking a client, do you have any alternatives, right? If not, it might be a great chance to just build a portfolio and just start doing it. But also, you should have a deadline for success as well. I mean, one question I would ask is, okay, are there other successful salespeople on this? Am I the first one? What's his current sales cycle like? Um, Asking those questions are going to be really important because his funnel might. The biggest risk that you're going into is that his business, he might have not cracked his funnel yet. You mentioned 12 employees, but does that mean 12 sales employees as well? It could be that as well. 50 clients is a lot for 12 employees. Digital marketing, I don't know. I would give it a shot, at least Tyrell. And if he's going to pay you 20%, that might be pretty. It might be a really good decision. So I would get, if this is your first client, shoot for it. Give it 2 weeks, feel it out, and then bounce if you don't feel like it's the right solution. But also that's a hard part because you don't. At that point, you're so novice that you're so new. Like if this is your first offer, I don't know anything about you, Tyrell. But if you're really new, then it might be, it's hard to see what is a good offer and what it's not. That's why experience is so important, and you just gotta start building it, honestly. Oh yeah, I created my own storybook. It's 6 chapters long. If that was his home, then that's nuts. Why did he need such a luxurious house? Because he had to put up the facade, or like he had to position himself as a rich businessman to kind of sell, right? That's the illusion he was going for and all that. So, I mean, it costs a lot in Vancouver. It's not a cheap city. So I could see why he rents and stuff. And sometimes like people are like, why didn't he buy the house? Because sometimes buying a home, like it comes with a lot of headache too. I mean, like for me, I always like renting. That's why I like business models like rental arbitrage and stuff, because you don't take on the liabilities for the property. And so he was shooting out that home. He's doing a lot of things as well. So you just never know the position or why people do things for a reason. The only way to find out is you gotta ask them. And since I don't got a direct line to Dan Locke or anything like that, probably will never find out the answer. Not like he would ever really want to share that either, to be honest with you, right? He did say that he was the highest paid high ticket closer, closing millions of dollars in sales. Yeah, Abner, and that's a great point, because I'm not sure if I believe in that necessarily. I don't know. Like he would really need to show the receipts for that to really make a true statement like that. Because when you ask people about him in the actual industry, you talk to sales people, they never really heard of him. He was never really on the phones and stuff. And really, and this is what I really heard Kayvon was really the back end of people, because people know Kayvon in the high ticket closing high ticket closing community, and he was the one that was building a lot of these his programs and stuff, or helping doing that. But Dan himself, I'm not quite sure if he has any high ticket closing experience, like real high ticket closing experience, because I don't know. I tried that script, man, and it absolutely failed. It worked sometimes, but it just shows, like, now that I have high ticket closing experience, like you kind of have a feeling of what works and what doesn't work as well in this industry. So yeah. Okay, guys, I'm pretty much done. I'm tapped out. My voice is starting to die. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Those that have had the chance. And oh yeah, Tyrell says, my first job, one other salesperson of 12 employees, office in India. Try it. I would say try it, Tyrell. Nothing can really go wrong from it at the end of the day, right? So just give a test trial. Ask them if you can do a test trial, and just go from there. Set up the expectations up front. But that is pretty much it, guys. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in for the weekly stream. Really appreciate it. Sorry the internet was in and out all day. It fucking sucks, but you just gotta do what you gotta do. Like, I'm in Boston for a little while, so if the internet sucks, I'm sorry, man. Maybe I'll do it on my phone next time, and we'll just go from there. But I just want to say I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate all you guys bringing in positive energy. No trolls this stream, which was really great. And love you guys all. I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Have a kick-ass week. Reach out to me if you guys need anything. All right. Peace, mother people. Bye.